YouTube. So as promised, here is the tutorial for my version of Maggie Holmes' little mini album. So I had shown this in a video, and I had asked if you guys want a tutorial, and you voted yes. So we're going to be making something very similar to this, but with a different collection. So what you're going to need for here is really basic stuff that you might actually already have in your stash. The first thing you need are these Tim Holtz binder rings. I got mine at Joann's. I don't know if they have them at Michael's, but they definitely have them at Joann's, and I love these things. So you're going to need a 6x6 paper pad, which is perfect. I'm choosing to use Fifth and Frolic this time. A couple of washi tapes is always a nice addition to any project. I have the chipboard pieces that go along with Fifth and Frolic. Excuse me. Oh, sorry guys, I had to sneeze. I'm a bit having allergies tonight. Next, you're going to need some chipboard. Mine is super thin, which works great for this project, and I actually get mine at Michael's. I got these on sale today, 5 for $1. It's just cheap chipboard, and it works great. So we're going to be cutting those apart. I have a brayer, I have some glue dots, scissors, paper trimmer. I am using this liquid glue. It's just the tacky glue by Aileen, so any liquid glue is fine. I've got some little tiny type letters. And what else? I have my paper trimmer. Oh, crocodile. You're going to need some kind of hole punching tool. The crocodile is awesome. And you're going to need acetate. I don't know where my acetate went. Oh, and probably some thickers, of course. So kind of just a selection of things. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go as fast as I can, but it's probably going to be a long video. Alright, so the first thing I did was I went ahead and cut all my chipboard because I wanted this video to be a little bit faster. So as you can see, there is a base. This sheet here is, you guys can see the size difference. The base is bigger than the actual pages, as you can see here. So we're going to start with the base. So the base, this is the size that I did mine. Of course, you can do it at a different size. Mine is 5 by 5.75, and this is the base. And then you'll see that I have 2 black dots here. And what I did to get those black dots in place was I went ahead and took my binder ring out, and I just lined it up to get it even and straight, and then I went ahead and filled in black dots so I would know where to punch. Now you want to leave a little bit room at the top and try and get it even on the sides, which you can see I have a little bit of room up there. And then you're going to need, again, you can add additional or less sheets, but I have 4 sheets. That will be the part for the flip through. So these sheets right here, and these sheets are going to be smaller. So these are all cut out of that chipboard paper I was talking about that I showed that I get at Michael's. So you're going to need 4 of these, 4 quantity, at size 5 by 4. And then the hole punch, these holes are going to be different. And this messed me up. The first time I did this, I just winged it. But what you need to be careful is the base and then the flip pages, the holes are going to be different. Because, as you can see, you're hooking this onto there, and then this is going to hook onto the sheet. So keep that in mind. That's why the holes are a different size. And I punched these at 1 inch and 4 inches. But you can go ahead and kind of look, if you line it up with this, you know, kind of look at it first and see if that lines up with your size. So it lines up for mine. Alright, so I have my base and this, and then I'm going to go ahead and hole punch the rest of these. I'm just going to line them up with this. I'm going to go in with my crocodile here. Alright, now got those 2 done. And I always go back to the original sheet to re-hole punch with. And sorry if you guys hear my roommates in the back, even though it's like 11 o'clock at night. Everybody seems to stay up late. Alright, let's get that done. Okay, So I've got all these hole punch now. And what I have actually gone ahead and done was, give me a sec. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what I went ahead and did was I actually labeled my sheets. I mean, it doesn't matter, but the reason mine are labeled is because I've already pre-chosen my paper, and I wanted to match my paper up with a number. So, now that we have those cut, we can actually already start gluing our book. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do this first. So, in this little package, it comes with brads, and they're supposed to be up there, but they fell out. So, you're going to need 2 brads. So, it just comes with, you know, these little basic silver brads. And since I have already colored in the holes, all I need to do is go in and punch. And I'm actually going to do the small punch. You don't want to use the big hole because that's too big. Or you could just poke it through. But you see, you just need the small hole there. So there's a small hole. And this book might not be perfectly lined up, but I'm not perfect at scrapbooking, so I'm just going to kind of do my best. Alright, and then get your hole in there. So see, once you do that, we're actually going to put the paper on first, and then the paper will cover the back of it. But at least we have our holes punched. So, now, I have already, like I said, I've already pre-chosen my paper. I'm using the 5th and Frolic collection. I actually have 2 additional sheets that I might cut apart and use in between. But these are kind of like the pages that I've chosen here. This is the selection. And I already have them all in order, so you can kind of see what I'm using with what. So we're going to start with our base. So that is what I mean by I labeled all my paper. You can see a number on there. So we'll start with the base. So what I do is I am totally a messy gluer. So like I said, my book might not be perfect and it might be a little bit messy, but that's kind of how I work. And these things always get dried up on the top, which stinks. I should have had this ready. What do you know? I don't. Well, I'm really excited that Easter's tomorrow, and I hope everyone has a wonderful Easter, and I'm really excited to just kind of relax and spend time with the family. And I'm going to go see my grandma. Alright, I think I got it open. So, hopefully everyone has a nice, relaxing Easter, and then it's back to work on Monday for everyone. Alright, let's get this glue going. Okay, there we go. And it's okay if you glue messy, because that's what our brayer's for, so our paper won't warp. And say you don't have a brayer, you can go ahead and use a bone folder or anything with like a nice sharp, not sharp, but a nice clean edge. And again, it's okay that I'm gluing over the holes because we're not putting paper on the back yet, so we'll be able to see the holes. So what I do is I'm just going to go to the edge of the paper. And you can totally pre-cut your paper, but I didn't, because I'm just going to freehand it. Like I said earlier, I'm not like a perfect scrapbooker, so I'm just going to take my scissors here. Let me brayer it first to even out all the glue. And sometimes the brayer moves the paper a little bit, but it looks like we're lined up pretty good. So, go ahead and brayer this real nice and good, and that should spread the glue evenly so our paper does not warp. So you're just going to cut as close as you can to the edge, and yes, you could always go back in and sand your edges. You could have painted the chipboard edges. That would have looked really nice. I'm just not that fancy, I guess. Sometimes I can be, but okay. And then save your scraps because we might be using them. I'm not quite sure yet. So you can go ahead and go in and brayer it again and get a nice edge. Okay, so you can still see your holes on the back, so I'm going to go ahead and re-punch these holes. Okay, so now they're re-punched. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and put in our, whatever you want to call this, the binder ring. And then I'm going to go ahead and get it nice and good on there. Oh gosh, where's my other thing? Here it is. Okay. So there we go. So here's our back. So now we would put a sheet of paper over so we can cover up these holes. And I actually think I forgot to choose a paper for that. So I will go ahead and do that last. So anyways, here is our base, is what I'm calling it, of our book. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just covered chipboard. And if I wasn't talking, this would really go a lot faster, but you guys know me. I like to talk, and I could have had these pre-cut. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and match these up. So we're going to start with number 1. I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to glue it. And you guys could totally fast forward through this part, because I'm just going to keep gluing until I have all the pages on, because I did not think to do it beforehand. So let's go ahead and get this cut. Again, I just free cut it, you know, and sometimes you got to go back in and fix it a little bit. And then we're going to brayer it one more time to get out any excess glue. And again, sometimes your paper gets moved a little bit when after you brayer it and you have a little bit of glue. And then always remember that after you put on one side sheet of paper, go back in and hole punch it. And then cover this sheet with paper, and then you'll have to hole punch it again. So now we're going to switch to sheet number 2. Go ahead again, do a bit of messy glue in here. So, I mean, this is just a super simple book. I wish I did more tutorials. I don't know why I don't, because they're so fun. I used to teach classes a lot, but now that I don't work in a scrapbook store, I don't teach. And I do like teaching, but, you know, every class is very different to teach, because you get all different levels of students, but it's kind of nice online because you guys really get to watch me do it instead of just say, okay, we're going to be doing this and this. So I really like doing this little tutorial. So, okay, so that's the basis of how we get our pages in. And so then, let's hope this lines up. Let's see if it does. Uh-oh. I think I'm a little bit off. Nope, okay. Yep, see, I'm a little bit off. So I need to go back in here. I need to re-punch. See, I told you guys I'm not a perfect scrapbooker. But I'm okay with mistakes because mistakes can be covered up. Okay, so see there? I just kind of did a messy double hole, and hopefully that will fix my issue. And see, it sure did. And now it can move freely. So that's all I needed to do. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. So that's all I need to do. So it's okay if at first your holes don't match up, because you can fix it. So there, we have our first page on. So now let's grab, I've already cut this acetate sheet by 5 inches in width, but now we need to have this sheet. I haven't cut this yet because I need this to be as long as this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this length first. And again, I'm just going to freehand it. And I can always fix this up. But what I'm doing is I'm going from the top of the blue to the base. And that's where I'm getting my length from. And then I'm going to pull this sheet up, and then I'm going to punch holes in it. Alright, so now we have our top acetate sheet. Get our blue sheet back in here. And we'll get our acetate sheet in here. Perfect. And see, I don't know if you can see, but the acetate sheet goes to the bottom perfectly. So that's how I got my length on that. So what else should we do? I was going to do all these pages, but I feel like I don't want to waste your guys' time. So I think I'm actually going to start on the cover. So as you guys can see, here is my cover for the Maggie Holmes one. And I was kind of thinking, since this is like home, like house type of paper, I did add some washi tape back here and some scraps of paper. So I was kind of thinking of making this book like, I don't know, pictures at home, or I'm not quite sure yet. This line could go for so many things, but I kind of like this little yellow bird here, and you know, I might add some washi tape, and I don't even know what thickers, and I don't even know like what kind of title I'm thinking. I kind of actually like the white, and maybe if I outline. I did like a saying in this book. It said, "Home is where the heart is." But here it already says, "Welcome home." Let's see if I like this. Alright, H. And these would even be really cute, like popped up. Hope this is going to fit. You're supposed to start working from the back, the last letter to the first letter. And of course, I never follow rules. Alright. So, kind of like that. And I think I do want this popped up. And maybe do like home is where the heart is, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit all that. Let's kind of see. So now I'm just going in with these little tiny type letters. I'm not sure this is going to fit. Trying to think. Not like, I really do want to do Home is Where the Heart Is, but I feel like it's too long. But I need to add something, so maybe I'll just go in. Usually when I want to add like another type of like color to spruce it up, like I'm adding this black for a little bit of boldness, and I don't know what to put. Usually I just do like the date, so maybe I'll just do the date. I wish I would have thought of a saying that was a little bit shorter. And I'll probably think of another, like, saying when, like, I'm ready to go to sleep, and we'll see. So we are in 2013. I kind of like that. So maybe I better put these letters back on here. They're all messy. I love these little tiny type letters from Joann's. They're awesome. Okay, and I think I'm going to pop that up and maybe move that over. So let me grab some Pop Dots real quick. Alright, Pop Dots. Get you on there. And so those of you who watched my last video about me not nannying for my family that I've been with for almost a year, even though it's really sad, I am still going to see the kids. And fortunately, I've already found a new family, and it's awesome because they live in my parents' neighborhood, so I already feel like super duper comfortable there, and they just have a beautiful family, and I am so excited to kind of start like my new journey. And you guys have no idea how much I appreciate y'all. The comments that you guys left were, I mean, just amazing. The stuff you guys put, like, I don't know what I would do without YouTube. I mean, I started crying when I read a lot of y'all's comments because they were just so sweet. I mean, I am just so grateful and blessed to have you guys. You're just so awesome. And so, washi tape is cool because even though I'm putting it this side up, you can still slightly see the little polka dots behind. It's just like a really subtle one. But if I would have thought to add my washi tape first, I could have added it under my letters, but, you know, I just kind of go with the flow and I throw things together and it doesn't always work out. So I should have thought it out first, but of course I didn't. So if you guys are at home, just remember that you can do it how I did it the first time around. So it's just adding like a little bit of color behind. Now I need something that really like pops because it's all just very subtle colors, but I feel like this might be too bold. I don't know. I'm sorry this video is so long, you guys. We're already at 21 minutes. Let's get this off here. Of course, I can't find the start of it. I can't find it. Okay, so that's alright. So next, what I want to do real quick, I think I don't know if you guys like this, but I like all that fun seam binding. So I'm going to go ahead and take some seam binding. I bought this on Etsy. I'm just going to cut some off. This is 100 yards. It's called Hug Snug. I love it. I think it was like 13 bucks or something. Okay, now if you use the Heidi Swapp Color Shines, that would be amazing on this. But I'm actually choosing to use my SEI Tumble Dye Sprays. I love these things. I mean, this thing I have used so much, and there's still so much left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray like this first. And then I'm just going to kind of rub it in, and I'm going to scrunch it together, and I'm going to get yellow all over my hand, and I am totally cool with that. So as you can see, it's starting to get pretty well covered, well covered, and I'm okay with like the lighter, a little bit of lighter in it. As you can see, the color didn't soak in as much, and I'm cool with that. So then you're going to go ahead and tie it while it's still wet. So just do like a little bow, and then go ahead and crunch it up, or scrunch it up, and kind of just leave it there for a few minutes and let it dry, but it'll be all crinkled. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take our little like accent sheets, and we're going to cut some out. Which ones do I like? I really like this one. I love these little accent sheets. They're so awesome. And then what you do is you would just go in between the pages and do like a little hole punch. So I'm going to go in with my hole punch and do one about right there. And I'm going to add it in. Now I don't necessarily know if I would want this one on this page, but this is kind of to give you guys an idea of how you just add little extra goodies in. So, like in my Maggie Holmes book, I've added this, I've added stuff like this, just little items in between. So that is kind of what I'm referring to there as I drop it. So we have Home 2013. And then this is Welcome Home. I don't know if you guys can see that. Alright, so this does need more time to dry, but since I don't want you guys sitting here all night watching my video, I don't want to bore you to death. So even though it's already tied, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to do another tie. Just like a regular knot. And then you pull tight, but don't pull it too tight because it will rip. It's seam binding. It is gentle. And then go ahead, and you could take the heat gun to this to dry it if you're impatient. But I don't have my heat gun out, and I'm definitely going to trim this down, but you guys can kind of get a look for it. I love the yellow for this, so I'm going to trim it at an angle about right there, and maybe even do one shorter than the other. That doesn't bother me. I like things to be unusual and not so exact. So one is shorter than the other, and I'm totally cool with that, and if it stands up right, it is going to cover a little bit of the title. So I hope that helps, and I apologize for not doing all the pages in here, but we will be sitting here all night. So you guys kind of get a basic idea, and if you guys have questions, just go ahead and comment below, and I will do my best to get back with you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter. I will talk to you later. Bye.